Hey there, Mustangs. Hopefully everybody's out there doing well. Here's another installment of Distance Learning 2020. I'm Coach McKeever. I'll be your guest today, and I'm going to try to teach you guys about the distributive property. All right. I'm going to start this video out by saying make sure you watch the whole thing through. We're going to have some random bonus point questions in there, and I want to make sure you're paying attention. So make sure you watch the video all the way through. All right, with that said, let's get started. Today we're going to be talking about only the distributive property. That's it, just one thing. All right, example number one. Now the first thing you're going to notice about the distributive property is that it has parentheses in it. Yeah, and one thing you'll hear a lot of algebra teachers, first thing to do is they say, whenever you see parentheses, get rid of them. All right, so it's one thing you might notice is they have parentheses. Another thing is, it has two operations. It has multiplication. When you have a number right beside a parenthesis, there's multiplication. And then also we have addition, or it'll be a subtraction throughout here. So it's one of those things you can quickly recognize that this is the distributive property because it has two operations and it has these parentheses. Now the idea is get rid of the parentheses, all right? Simplify it, if you will. Now, why are we going to do the distributive property? Well, the reasoning is because inside the parentheses, you have unlike terms. You have two things that you cannot put together. You have a 2x and a 3. If we could add those together, we would. But since you can't add those together, you have no choice. What you have to do is distribute. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that. We're going to take the number that's outside the parentheses, okay, and it typically is a number. You will find it can be a variable, but most of the time in 8th and 9th grade math, algebra, you'll find that this is going to be a number. So what do we simply do? Well, we need to get rid of these parentheses, and this is how you do it. You take the number that's outside and you multiply it by everything inside. So the first things first, I'm going to take this 5 times 2x. So 5 times 2x is probably what you're thinking. 5 times 2 is 10. And the x just kind of goes along, moves over, if you will, and just remains x. So you multiply this number on the outside times the coefficient, and you get 10x. Then you go back to this 5, okay? That's the tricky part, is you have to go back to this number outside here, and you multiply it by the other number. So 5 times 3, 15. Now the last thing is don't forget to bring down your plus sign here. Now the better you get at this and the more confident you get, what you'll find is that you'll take this plus and you'll make that a positive 3. So you'll simply say 5 times positive 3 is positive 15. Makes things a little quicker and faster. All right, and this is simplified. There you go, done. All right, so the next example, what you can see is different is that outside we have a negative integer, okay? And that's okay. It's okay for this to be negative. That's fine, all right? Now, sometimes we refer to this as the teacher if we were teaching this in class. So the teacher is going to distribute something to everything inside the parentheses. So we have the teacher out here, and he or she is going to give a paper here, and then they're going to give the paper here. So it always comes back to the teacher. All right? Now, random question number 1. Who is Fred Flintstone's neighbor? That's right. Who is the neighbor of Fred Flintstone? All right. -4 is our number outside, so we're going to take that times everything inside. So -4 times 3, you got it. -12. And remember, our y is simply placed down, bring it down if you will, it goes along. Now our -4, we're going to multiply it by -6. Notice I've referred to that as -6. That's right, -4 times -6 is going to be a positive 24. And this is simplified. There's nothing else you can do. You got rid of the parentheses, and now you cannot combine these because this has a y and this does not have a y. So that is referred to as simplified. Well done. All right, take a look at this example. Now, I'm thinking right now, most of you are figuring out what makes this one slightly different. Slightly different. Yeah, our number outside the parentheses is at the other end. And that's totally fine. It's totally fine. So now this is where we're going to be our starting point. We're going to start with this 6, and we're going to distribute to everything inside. And it doesn't matter really what order you do it. I personally am going to go down here to the 3x. Now the 6 times 3x is going to be 18, because 3 times 6 is 18. And again, the x goes along. And then I'm also going to take this 6 times this, which is negative 8. Well, 6 times negative 8 is negative 48. Okay? Now, please note that this is in the proper form, standard form, meaning the variable comes first and then the constant or the number comes last. So this is in the correct order. So if you even did it the other way around, you would still want to put it in this way, this order, if you will, because that's called standard form. All right. Random question number 2. All right, random question number 2. In the show, the Andy Griffith Show, who is the deputy? Who is the deputy in the show, the Andy Griffith Show? Now, with that said, if you get a chance, watch the Andy Griffith Show. Man, it is quality television. Okay, it's great stuff. All right, so get a chance to watch some Andy Griffith Show and figure out who is the deputy. Now, speaking of the Andy Griffith Show, I don't know if you guys know this, but Coach Fritz, our very own Coach Fritz, who's out in the athletics department, used to coach math. Now, if he was coaching this and he was teaching distributive property, he would do it slightly different. All right, so here's my best Coach Fritz imitation. All right, guys, this is Coach Fritz. Now, Coach Fritz from Tennessee. And if he was doing this, he's going to do the hippity-hoppity distributive property. So what you do is you start out here, children, and you go hippity-hoppity distributive property. That's right. It's as easy as that. It's like a rat on a Cheeto. So what you do is you take 9 times 4, that's going to be 36. And you got your y. That's hippity, and then you go hoppity. And 9 times negative 5, that's going to be negative 45. So children, it's as easy as this. Hippity-hoppity distributive property. This is Coach Fritz. I'm out. All right. So if you didn't understand that, what he was talking about is you take the number on the outside and multiply it by 4, which is 36, and then you go back to the number on the outside and multiply it by negative 5. Man, lucky to have Coach Fritz teaching and coaching with us here. All right, now, what makes this one slightly different? All right, this one has 3 numbers inside the parentheses, or 3 terms, actually. They're not numbers, they're terms. So we have 3 terms inside here. All right, so what we're looking at is you have to, again, to get rid of these parentheses, you have to distribute this number on the outside to everything inside. So it's going to go from here, and then it's going to go to the middle term, and then go back to here, and go to this 3rd term. All right, and by doing that, that's going to get rid of the parentheses, and it's going to simplify this. All right, so here we go. Let's do this. 3 times 2x, as you guys are probably getting better at this, 6x, right? Because 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times negative 8, 3 times negative 8. Or maybe you want to say 3 times 8, which is 24, and then bring down the negative. Either way. And then don't forget about our y. Now, we can't put those together because those are unlike terms. You have a 6x and a negative 24y. You cannot put them together. And finally, we went to our 3 all the way down to this 4, and you're going to have positive 12. Again, we have this in standard form. We go x, y, that's alphabetical order with our constant last. All right. So you might be thinking to yourself, when are you going to ever use this stuff? Okay. When is this going to be, good for algebra? Well, here's an example. All right. This right here is the perimeter of a rectangle formula. Yeah, that's the perimeter of a rectangle. What it means is length plus width. So if we took the length plus the width, so if we took one length plus one width and added them together and then multiplied it by 2, that would be a way of using the perimeter formula. That's one way of doing it. Now, the other way you might want to use the perimeter formula is to distribute. Maybe you want to take this 2 times L, which would be 2L, which is 2 lengths, and then distribute this 2 to the W, which would be 2W. So it'd be 2 lengths, so you take 2 lengths and 2 widths and add those together. You use this formula a lot in algebra, all right? So it's one of those things where this way or this way, you're gonna see it both ways in algebra, okay? So it's really easy to use. All right, guys, I'm wrapping up our lesson about distributive property. Remember, when you get those 3 random questions, the answers, email your teachers. Email Miss Litzinger, Miss Peel, or Miss Grice the answers, and you'll get some bonuses on it, okay? Now, the third question, the third random question. Who is that stupid dinosaur that used to entertain you guys when you were much younger? He's purple and all that stuff, and he used to sing this song. I love you. You love me. We're one. Okay, I can't sing it. All right. If you will, just email those 3 answers to your teacher and you'll get some bonus questions. All right. Have a good time, guys, and stay safe.